and then suddenly the cameras just break free and be shooting at each other occasionally, over him, onto you. It was...
literally improvised guerrilla filmmaking.
Yeah.
And we're clear. Great job, everyone.
Did you hear that?
Were those gunshots?
What's the situation?
The police are reporting that armed terrorists have attacked the Israeli athletes.
There's a hostage situation going on right now in the Olympic Village.
The film was shot in Munich at the site of this tragedy. Did it set the mood for your performance? That helped?
Oh yeah, before we even started filming, so I was out here in Los Angeles shooting Presumed Innocent. Got on a plane, landed over there, and we ended up starting like 4 or 5 days after I landed. But in that time, I got one of those Lime scooters, and I went all the way out to the Olympic Village from the center of town. It's not a short trip, and I don't think you're actually allowed to bring a Lime scooter that far. I'm not recommending it for anyone. But I stood there where it happened. Those apartments are still there. I think they're student housing. And I just really tried to get in touch with the past, that this happened. It seems like a simple question to pose to yourself, a reality to impose on yourself. But I wanted to really get the feeling, yes, this happened.
There were a lot of things that set the mood for the performance, and it was kind of an accumulation of discussions and research and everything. But I will admit that being in Munich was, an extra level. Not often do you get to shoot in the place where, an actual event happened. That's very rare nowadays. And having the opportunity to walk the Olympic Village and see, where the broadcast facility was, where the apartment was, the proximity of that, going up in the tower and looking around, going into the swimming hall and the Olympic Stadium, it really let that history start to wash over me. And that, with all the other research, shadowing in control rooms, talking to Jeffrey Mason, just kind of created a stew for me that I could draw from once we started rolling cameras.
And the scenes are there, some continuous scenes, and you guys are like working in this kind of very small set. How was that challenge for you both, Peter?
I mean, it's like being on stage, really. I think most of us there were actors that have spent quite a bit of time on stage, and working together on a scene where you might have, a line at the beginning and then 2 minutes of filming go by and you have one toward the end. But all the while we're carrying the thing together. That was quite nice in terms of being in a small space and interacting like that. Even with, it was claustrophobic. We had 2 cameras in there, and if you've ever been on a film set to see how many people it takes to run one camera, I think it's 3. That's 6 people over there. It's people moving cables and diving through things. But I love that kind of thing. It really brings the crew closer into the process. They're not removed. We're all really in it together. And we would do these takes he called wild style, where we would film like that for a bit, like where we were kind of mapping the scene a little bit with 2 cameras, and then suddenly the cameras just break free and be shooting at each other occasionally, over him, onto you. It was...
literally improvised guerrilla filmmaking.
Yeah.
And just one time. Long takes, very long takes. It did feel about as close as I felt to theatre in a film process.
Yeah, a little bit more like you're being observed rather than, as a very famous actor I once worked with said, feeding it down the tube, which is, the type of acting where we're having a scene, but I'm playing quite a bit of it over here.
Yeah. You're not playing out or playing out to camera. Yeah, it was very much being observed. Yeah.
Or you're talking to me and I just stay facing this way. You can talk into my ear.
It was that sort of challenge of you're either in the scene or you're not.
Yeah.
There was no middle ground. Nobody was cheating. Everybody was on the, or at least, unless I'm delusional, it felt like everybody was on the same page, which created a particular energy. But that's just to do with having very good director, and a very, very good cast.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, you know, I think all of us, all the principals that you're talking to today, come from a theater background, and oftentimes you're doing theater in a small black box somewhere, you know, that is kind of uncomfortable. And this film actually lends itself to kind of a theatrical experience because of the limited space, because of the ensemble nature of it. So I think in a lot of ways it was kind of a homecoming for us to be doing something like this. And although the space was small and at times uncomfortable and stinky and smoky and all those things, it also presented great obstacles for us as actors that, you know, we had to overcome, and oftentimes that makes for better performance.